Hello YouTube, welcome back to Unloved Autos. Today we are once again in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. I tried to find a new location, but the wind picked up just as I was finding a good spot out in the open, so I had to journey back here to try to guard myself from the wind. Downtown is not really hopping on a Sunday afternoon. Today we are going to take a look at my 2004 Mercury Marauder. The Marauder is a Ford Lincoln Mercury product built on the Panther platform, which started to be produced back in 1979, I believe. Its cousin vehicles include the Ford LTD and Crown Victoria, as well as the Lincoln Town Car. They made these cars for a very long time, not the Marauder, but the platform itself, including a lot of taxis, a lot of police cars, and a lot of daily drivers for folks who needed a lot of room and a nice solid V8 engine. Now for me, 2003 and 2004 were a couple of peak years for Ford. We had this Mercury Marauder, which they only made for 2 years, 2003 and 2004, as a last gasp effort for Mercury to have a bit of performance. The same 2 years saw the Mustang Terminator Cobra vehicle, which were outstanding, and the 2003 and 2004 Ford Mustang Mach 1 as well. It's really a favorite time period of mine. So the Mercury Marauder name first was stuck onto a vehicle back in 1963. That was a full-size Mercury vehicle as well. It lasted from 1963 to 1965, and it was more of a trim level than an actual model by itself. They applied the package to the Monterey Custom and the Monterey not Monterey, the S55, sorry about that. That was sort of their sporting vehicle. Back in those days, it had a 2-door or a 4-door, at least starting in 64. Sales weren't great, and they were eventually deleted. The name came back again in 1969 and 1970. At that point, it was its own model, again on the full-size platform. It shared a lot of the front of the body and the interior with the Mercury Marquis of the time. There was also a version called the X100, which was the sportier version. Those sold poorly as well and lasted just 2 years. The 69 and 70 models were 2 doors only. The name then went dormant for a very long period of time, finally coming back in 2003 and 2004 with the car that we see here. Mercury itself disappeared not long after the 2011 model year. These cars were inspired in large part by the 1994 to 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS that sort of brought back the performance full-size car world, so they weren't just cars for grandmas anymore. Ford originally planned, or Mercury I should say, to build 18,000 of these a year, and it didn't really work out the way they wanted. They managed to sell only about 11,000 total, 7,800 in 03, and way down to 3,200 in 2004. Meanwhile, the Grand Marquis, which was sold in the same platform, sold 180,000 vehicles over those 2 years. So this was definitely not a sales success. The engine is the 4.6 liter modular double overhead cam V8 with 302 horsepower. Basically the same engine as the Mustang. We saw it in a lot of Ford pickups and things at that time as well. Compared to the regular Grand Marquis, it had unique bumpers, monochrome paint, 18-inch wheels. And these wheels are cool because they brought back the old Mercury head logo. Oh, that one's upside down. Let's see if this one's right side up. There you go. Just over there. Brought back that logo, which is pretty dang neat. Didn't make it onto the steering wheel though, which was too bad. Also added his console shifter, unlike most of the other Mercuries of the time. The colors were very limited. In 03 we had black, silver birch, which this is, and dark pearl blue. That dark pearl blue was the rarest of all, only making a few hundred of those. And the pearl blue went away in 04, replaced by dark Toreador red. Black was the most popular, followed by the silver. They made 417 in the silver in 03 and 997 in 04. My car has 55,400 miles. I bought it just about 2 years ago in an online auction. It came from Brownsville, Texas, which is way down by the Mexican border on the Rio Grande. And it supposedly was in Texas most of its life. I have scant details about the car beyond that, unfortunately. Here's the interior. Leather was standard. Oop, that door's locked. Here's the commodious back seat. Plenty of room back there. We can see they did some fun things with the dash. The whiteout gauges. Some additional gauges down there on the bottom, including a tack. This car has AC, it still works. I got a keychain to match the wheels. Here's the steering wheel, which does not have the cool Mercury head logo, which is too bad. Let's start it up real quick here. Not rumbly. Still about what you'd expect out of a car of the period. Let's pop open the hood. Take a look at the 4.6 liter engine. There it is. Nothing pretty, nothing fancy. Very solid motor. Ford made a gazillion of these for many years. Finally, they were phased out in favor of the Coyote engine and the Mustangs starting in 2011. But this one runs great. This car drives about like you'd expect. It's not quite as big and floaty as, say, a town car or a Crown Vic, but it's still definitely a big car. I'd wanted one of these for the collection for a long time. Had to find just the right one. I wanted silver, because I'm not really a fan of dark red, blue, or black. And it took a while to find a good one for the right price. Finally worked out. This has been a very good addition. I plan to keep it for a long time. Next week, folks, I will have either another car out of my collection or perhaps a guest spot. We'll see. Halloween's coming up. Maybe we'll have something spooky. Probably not. Till then, safe driving.